Good evening, Lakers Fast Break. This is your Laker Nightcap with Joe Soro. I hadn't seen that movie in a while. If you didn't know what the hell I was doing, Robin Williams, in one of his greatest performances of his entire career, was a star of a movie called Good Morning Vietnam. I don't know why, it just came to my head literally right before I pressed live. I thought it would sound good. It wouldn't have worked well with Lakers Nightcap, so I had to put in the Lakers Fast Break. Kind of flowed a little bit better. But for those of you out there who are just coming through from the post game, welcome back again after about 4 or 5 minutes of me getting ready. I had a surprise, but then I said, you know what? It is a Sunday night. I'm going to go with old reliable, keep the body kind of at bay because I got to work out tomorrow at 6 a.m. and we're already dealing with daylight savings that went up an hour. So I've lost an hour of sleep in the last couple of days. I need to make up for it as quickly as I can. And for those of you who weren't around all day or this evening, the Lakers defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-109 in a game that had a lot of ebb and flow in it. It was several game leads, several deficits, some large, some made up, some large again, some couldn't be made up. The Lakers played very, very well, and specifically Anthony Davis was an absolute monster tonight. I could say that this was probably his best statistical night of the year. Played 39 minutes, was extremely efficient, only shot 17 times for 27 points. But bigger than that, he had 10 offensive rebounds to go with 25 overall rebounds and 7 steals, 3 blocks, and to throw in a little bit of cherry on the top, 5 assists. Rui Hachimura started off the game really, really well. Was pretty much getting fed the entire first 5 minutes of that game. Ended up getting 15 points. He cooled down after that, and you could say Austin Russell kind of balanced everything out. And of course, LeBron had a quiet 29 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebound game. Played 38 minutes. I would have preferred to play 33 or so, but I think Darvin Ham made a really, really good decision at the beginning of the fourth quarter to put both AD and LeBron in immediately so that they could get out of whatever rut they were getting into in the third quarter when they had a lead, and Minnesota ended up coming back and taking I think it was a 4-point lead at one point. So yeah, it was a entertaining game. I enjoyed it. We were solo on, or at least I was solo on playback because Gerald's in Carlsbad right now, having a good old time with the fam. I was able to hang out with Gerald tonight for the first time ever, face to face. We went out to dinner to one of my favorite barbecue places in Temecula with his lovely wife and 2 daughters, and it was a glorious evening to say the least, and of course was topped with a beautiful basketball game with the Lakers going 6 games above 500 for the first time this season. Daniel, I wouldn't go that far. I wish if the Lakers were the 1 seed, you could have that argument. What I do think may have happened tonight, because there was a minute there where I thought it was probably a foregone conclusion that it was going to go to Gobert or someone else. I think Gobert is the leading guy. But Anthony Davis showed tonight, if he continues to do it for another 16 games, that he's a threat for that Defensive Player of the Year award. I still say he's got a chance there, but he can't have another dud. That means the next game against the player that has owned him, he is 0 for 9 against Mr. Sabonis. He needs a win, and he needs a win quick, fast, right away. And it would be nice to punk the Kings in Sacramento for doing what they did a few nights ago to us. So with that, Lakers, fantastic night. Gerald in California hanging out. Salute to everyone on the chat. Salute to Gerald and his family and the Lakers' performance tonight. Salute to anyone who's having a drink as well. I was waiting for someone to mention it. Bloodhound, yes. The Steelers essentially got a really good insurance policy for free. That's why the signing isn't too bad. And the reason why is because Broncos are paying him almost $40 million to not play in Denver. Now, my first question with that whole situation is how and what the hell did Russell Wilson do to make a team eat $75 million of dead money? Is there a Denver Bronco fan out there that could tell me what was going on? Is there someone that knows Russell Wilson, behind the scenes that can tell us what happened? Because Russell Wilson doesn't strike me as someone who's a cancer. He doesn't strike me as someone who's demonstrative. He doesn't look like a T.O. or Randy Moss or any kind of ego-driven type player. Is he one of those silent but deadly type guys where he's passive-aggressive? I don't know. But to me, it's a good insurance policy. There's a lot worse quarterbacks out there that can be that guy than Russell Wilson, because we had Mitch Trubisky and he was terrible. So I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Mitch Trubisky at this point. Anyways, back to the game. So the Lakers tonight did a couple things that I really, really liked. I thought their defense, even though they were, I wouldn't say struggling, but they weren't able to stop Minnesota in the first half. But I thought Minnesota was just playing way above their heads. They were making every shot that they could. But I thought their trapping on Anthony Edwards was great. I thought their help defense was great. I thought even D'Angelo Russell continuing to have hands kind of batting away at the passing lanes. I thought those type of things were very good tonight. I was very impressed because Minnesota was moving around. They were fast. They were getting the spots. They were making shots. And the Lakers didn't seem to get frustrated by it. If they were scoring on the Lakers were coming back right away and scoring back. And that's all you can ask for. You got to weather the storm. You got to weather those instances. And then once they get a dead spot, that's when you continue to pounce. And that's what the Lakers did at the beginning of the third quarter. The problem with the Lakers, and this has been going on for a while, is that they start to relax. This isn't 20, 25-point lead relax. This is 13-point lead. Now, if you know anything about the NBA, 13-point leads aren't what they used to be. 13-point leads are like 7 and 8-point leads from 20 years ago. Hell, I've even said an 18 to 20-point lead is what a 7 to 8-point lead was back 20 years ago. So you just cannot. All it takes is 2 bad decisions and 2 makes from 3 from your opponent to cut that deficit almost in half. And that's what was going on. I think they hit 3 threes in a row. They went from 13 to 4 pretty quickly because the Lakers just started losing focus. So you have to maintain these leads when it comes to anywhere between 8 to 15. Otherwise, it'll disappear in a heartbeat. If you don't believe me, just go watch the Sacramento game in the first quarter when the Lakers were up 19. They fell asleep, and they stayed asleep the rest of the game. Jeremy, I thought Ham's rotations in the last 2 games were his best decisions of the year. Is he getting better as the year goes on? That happened in the playoffs last year. If that's the case, if he's going to be smart with this in this way, then we have something to look forward to. The only problem is, can he do this against Denver, against Sacramento, and teams that have bigs that can actually do business? Because Anthony Davis seems to struggle when he plays against bigs. So if you're the coach, you need to start figuring out another way. If Anthony Davis can't figure out his best position, his best placement against those type of players, then you need to make a decision on, are you going to keep AD just stationary? Are you going to move him around? Are you going to get him the ball deeper in position to get the baskets? Are you going to have him sit at the elbow? On defense, are you going to just tell him, look, stick with your guy and don't worry about help defense? This is all stuff that needs to be discussed when you're the coach, because you have to put your players in the best position possible, especially when you're getting dominated by particular players or particular teams. Hey, Spasm, what's up, bud? If this is the first time you've been here, please like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions about tonight's game, please go ahead and send them, and I'll go ahead and answer them as best as I can. This is the Lakers Nightcap. The Lakers Nightcap will always be the Lakers Nightcap, but there will be some advancements coming soon to the show. There will be an official title. Production value will be enhanced. Probably going to get more of a traditional mic instead of the mic here, like I'm flying a Cessna. And of course, the visuals here are going to be a little bit more clear. Thanks, Spasm. Yes, we're doing very well here. I'm doing well. I had a great evening tonight. Great day and great evening. Number one, I had a friend of mine that had hung out with me this weekend. We were basically hanging out, drinking last night, and giggling and laughing and watching movies at my pad. And then today, I was able to. If this is the first time you've been here, Spasm, Gerald Glassford's our podfather. He's the guy that started the Lakers Fast Break. He was in town here in Southern California, and I was able to meet him for the first time in 3 years, face to face, and we were able to have a very nice lunch with his family. And he is continuing his vacation in Carlsbad at a nice pool with the fire pits and all that stuff. So, with all the 3-pointers, few leads are safe with enough time. Bloodhound, I think that's what the NBA is at this point. I'm looking at the numbers tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves shot 46 3-point shots tonight. 46. They made 16. They were 42% from the field. And that's how that rolls. The Lakers, beautiful stat lines. They shot 24 times from 3, made 10, were 53% from the field, which they've been really good at staying above 50. They've been very consistent, and even at the 3-point line, they've been one of the best here statistically since the beginning of the year started. The only negative, I guess, in the shooting department was they didn't do well from the free throw line today. I think they missed 7. Yeah, seven free throws. AD seemed to be a little off. You can always tell from his stroke when he's not getting that snap on his wrist. A lot of times when you start seeing that consistency with the snap, it's almost like you already know it's going in before it even leaves his hand. But tonight you could see he was struggling a little bit. I would have thought maybe it was his shoulder, maybe the balance from his shoulder and his follow through wasn't there, but it didn't really matter in the end. He did drop 27 and 25, which that's as good as it gets when for your big man. Let's see here, Phantom. I can't believe you just met him. Yeah, Alice. There were a couple times I was in Vegas, but we weren't able to connect. What do you think of the Cavs? Spasm, I think the Cavs are, and this goes for a lot of teams. The Cavs are one guy away from getting to the finals in the East. Who could they get? I don't know. There's a lot of discussions that Donovan Mitchell is going to be leaving for New York in a few years here when his contract runs out. There's been discussion he's going to get traded. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I have no clue. But let's say if they decide to keep that team together, they need one more guy. Is it someone like Trae Young? Is it someone like, I don't even know who would be available this summer. It would have to be a disgruntled star that wants to get out, which I don't really know too many right now that would be doing that. Oh, wow. Here comes the trolls. That's a good one. That's a good one, Stars. You want to give another one? Is that going to make you feel better? Is that going to make you feel better? Is that what your life is about now? Talking to somebody you don't know and talking stupid? Whoever the mods are tonight, get rid of this guy for me, will you? Oh, man, that's funny. Would it make you feel better if I told you I'm a Texas cowgirl? I don't believe anything on the internet. Sorry, I don't. Are you done? Can I continue playing basketball? Or are you just here to jack my stuff up? I'm waiting. There you go. Good. I'm sure my lab. What are you speaking Swahili now? What's going on here? What should I do this guy, guys? Let him simmer? Anyways, so what's next? So the Kings are coming, or I should say the Lakers are coming into town. No, he's not going to show because he's on Twitch, Sean. That's why. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to talk about the Sacramento Kings Wednesday. The Lakers, for mental purposes, need to go into Sacramento and lay the smackdown on Sacramento. And AD needs to bunk this, whatever the hell's going on with him and Sabonis. At the moment, he's 0 for 9 against Sabonis when he plays. He needs to teach Sabonis, starting Wednesday, that he's Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis doesn't do that, we're probably looking at another loss to the Sacramento Kings. Now, we're not going to be able to stop Fox. We're not going to be able to stop Monk. But if you can do what you did tonight with Anthony Edwards in making sure that you're getting good help defense, you're getting a good floater somewhere with that. Granted, I think Mike Brown has a little bit more of a diverse offense with his team versus Minnesota without Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. But this is something that Mr. Darvin Ham, who's had a couple of good games here, needs to figure out. He needs to continue this, and that's the most important part. Most important part here is you set a precedent now, not only in your dominance and finishing this issue, but you also get a chance to make up 2 games, one as a win, one as a loss, because you control that loss for Sacramento if you want to climb up to get that 7 seed. I'm thinking the Lakers are not going to get beyond 7, even if they play well. So get the 7 and at least guarantee yourself a playoff spot in the play-in. Otherwise, you're going to be risking a very scary, scary play-in. As soon as you lose that game, it's over. And that you can't let that happen. I'm not going to lie. You do look like you suck a golf ball through a garden hose. No offense, Joe. So you've seen the movie Platoon. Interesting. I don't see what that is. Yeah, I think, Sean, you trap Fox and make somebody else beat the Lakers, but I don't know. They try to let Malik Monk do his thing, and that didn't turn out too well either. It was almost like having 2 Foxes on at the same time. Yeah, AD needs to overcome this Sabonis thing. I can't figure out why the hell it's like that. How does 7th guarantee a playoff spot? Because if they lose, they still get the 8th seed. Let's see here. Hello, honey buns. You're a hunk. Okay, so how does 7th guarantee a playoff spot? Yeah. So no, if you lose, you play the winner of the night. Okay, here. Hold on a second. Is that how it works? The 7th seed? I thought if you lose as the 7th seed, you drop to an 8. Winner of the 7-8 gets the 7th seed. Loser of the 7-8, winner of the... Okay, that makes more sense. You're right. They're screwed either way. I don't know. Okay, so if they play the issue with the 7th. Okay, so the issue with the 7th is they would play, let's say, Dallas. And then if they beat Dallas, they're in. But then you're risking who are they going to play. The way this needs to play out is they have to win that game, get themselves a 7th seed. Then they're going to have to hope that they don't play Denver in the first round. Because I think they'd be fine against Minnesota, even if Cat's there. I think Cat's going to be a problem coming back. I really have a feeling that he might not be ready in the first round. He might be playing. They might need him. They might get him in the second round. So if they got Minnesota or Oklahoma City, even the Clippers in the first round, there's a chance there, especially if Gabe and Vando are solidified. Like if they're bona fide, valuable players for the team. It's a lot of ifs. This next month is going to be a lot of ifs. Get to number 7, win one game. Best scenario, I think, would be if Denver gets the 1 seed, like could get the 7th. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Denver's the main one we would want to avoid. Hopefully, Denver gets number 1. I think looking at the standings right now, I don't see how Denver won't end up finishing number 1. I guess Oklahoma City can continue to play well, but I think Denver is going to end up getting the 1. Oklahoma City is going to get the 2. And if Minnesota can't finish this off without Karl Anthony Towns, they're probably going to drop down to 4, and the Clippers will end up getting to 3. Right now, the Clippers are only 1 game behind them in the loss column. So there's a very good chance that Minnesota is going to drop to 4, and Clippers will go to 3, and then Oklahoma City, let's say, would be the number 2. So the Lakers are really, really, really going to need to focus on how they want to really control their destiny at that point. It's going to be really, really iffy. They play Denver in the first round, it's over. They'll lose in 4 to 5. I don't think they'll get swept. I think they'll probably win a game. They'll be out in 5. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're not a troll. Have you ever bet money on a match? You mean like the Laker game? Although it would be epic if they took Denver out in the first round. I don't see it happening, but, you never know. Let's see here. Anybody having a drink tonight? I had straight up Tito's right now. Where's Intel? Intel came and said hi and left. Intel, where the hell are you? Ryan C., you're legit? Please like and subscribe. This is the Lakers Nightcap. We usually have this after our post game at night. Yeah, I'd love to get the 6th seed. The problem is I think we're 5 games in the loss column behind New Orleans. If they were to do that, they probably have to finish 14-2 to have even a shot at getting that seed, which goes back to what we said. If they win 50 games, they'll probably be able to get a six seed. Right now, they're 3 games behind Phoenix, 5 games behind New Orleans. I'm sorry, I meant the 5th seed, not the 6th seed. So they would need the Suns to maybe have a 3-game losing streak while they have a 3-game winning streak. That's how it would change. But the Lakers would probably have to go 14-2 the rest of the way for them to probably have a shot at the 6th. Joe, people are worried about playing us. I wouldn't be worried if I was Sacramento or Denver. Those guys have the team that match up very well against LA. Everyone else, maybe. You're probably right on that. LeBron with a break, LeBron healthy, LeBron having a couple games off, and you still win. Those are huge things. Suns next 2 games, Cavs and Celtics. So Lakers have to beat Kings Wednesday for any chance at the 6th. I agree. If anything, they at least need to win all their home games. So if you look at their schedule, let's look at their schedule the rest of the way. They have Golden State, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Indiana. Then they go on that 6-game road trip. Then they have Cleveland, Minnesota, Golden State again. They have 7 games left at home the rest of the year. That means they have 9 games on the road. 9 on the road and 7 at home. So if they win all 7 of their home games the rest of the way, and they win, let's say, 5 out of those 9 road games, that's 11-5 in the remaining 16 games. Is that realistic? Could you see him doing that? Maybe they'll lose a home game and make up another road game, something like that. But let's say, based off how they've played the last week, except for the Sacramento game, 11-5. Do you guys see them going 11-5? I think that'd be the question for the boys too. Joe, how was your catch up? Oh, no, sorry if I have overdone. No, Xbox. I did give up a little race. So we ended up going to one of my favorite barbecue places here in Temecula. Gerald and his wife and his two girls came up to Temecula. We ended up meeting at the restaurant. We sat down, ate, had a good time, had some good conversation, and then we ended up taking some pictures. We're going to show you guys some pictures here in the next. Well, as soon as Gerald can get back from Southern California, he's going to be going to a concert here soon and lounging around Southern California for the week, and then he'll be back up in Vegas here shortly. But yeah, it was a great time. This is the first time I've ever sat with Gerald face to face, and it was a good experience. Looking forward to many more, and hopefully some of you guys with us as well. I think if it would be 12-4 if they win all 7 homes, then go 5-4 on the road. So that would put them at 48-34. Yeah, that's probably the likelihood. You're looking at probably 46-48 wins to finish this thing up, realistically. And if they can do that, I just don't know, man. It's going to depend on the other teams. All we know is this. Here, I'll put the scenario together. If they have to win two games to make it in, that's going to be scary. It's going to be very scary. If they have to win one, I could see that happening. Could definitely see that happening and feel confident going into that game. But man, would I love for them to get the number 6 seed. If they could get the 6 seed, that means they're for sure going to play a team at the 3 spot that they can ball with. LA Clippers, people are afraid of them, blah, blah, blah. For me, it would be the ultimate advantage, even after all that's happened, for them to have home court in the first round at the very least. Imagine starting the playoffs at home. They don't have to travel for at least a week and a half if the series was to go 7 games. I think that's a huge benefit. Then let's say they play, I don't know, they'd be the third. That means they'd play the winner of the 2 and 7 team. So looking at the standings now, let's say Oklahoma City gets the 2 seed, Denver gets the 1. So the Lakers, if they were to beat the 3 seed, whomever it is, whether it's Minnesota or let's say the Clippers, just so that we can have that advantage. Now you're going to play the Clippers and the Thunder in rounds 1 and 2 before you probably have to face Denver in the Western Conference Finals. I think that is as good of a setup as you can get if you have to go that route. I think that's as good as it can get. Yep, at least one road game at 9. Would love to play the paper clips. I would like to see. I think it would be fitting, wouldn't it? I think it'd be so fitting to finally play the Clippers in the playoffs, to only usher them out really, really, really well. Even worse than this last game that we came back at the end to win. Imagine ushering them to the toilets of Inglewood with a first series win against them in the playoffs. I think that'd be great. They're already getting kicked out, or they're already leaving Xbox. It's over. They're going where we, the Laker fans, used to go to watch Laker games. Who else got here late? Where is Intel? Intel was here. What the hell happened? He messaged us at 9:59. Let's go, Joe. Hearts and kisses, and then left. I look at 7 and 8 as a double elimination tournament and 9 and 10 as a single elimination tournament. Yeah. I have to agree with that, Sean. I just don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I'm trying to really focus on a game-by-game scenario here. I just can't get myself beyond this, just looking at what's going on right now. Because if I keep looking at hey, this team might do this. This team might do that. Every time that happens, they get blown out by somebody in one of these games, and then we go into our depression case. I don't want to do that. I don't think it's good. I'm getting paid Friday. I will sort you. Hey, Xbox, what do you do for a living? Shot time Friday. Yeah. I wonder what shots I'm going to take. Am I going to do tequila again? This stuff is not bad. Kind of goes down easy. But with that, let's dissect this game on Wednesday since that's what's next. So we're going to look at Sacramento here. Sacramento lost its last game. Who did they lose to here? It was against the Rockets. It was a surprising loss, actually. Unfortunately, Sengun exits with a knee injury. I don't know if it's for the rest of the year, but he looked like he was in a lot of pain. But this was actually a really, really bad loss for Sacramento. And I'm seeing that they also have issues with focus. I think they get up for the Lakers, obviously. Everyone does. But they also have a habit of falling asleep against stupid teams. And I wouldn't say Houston's stupid, but they're not obviously a playoff team, and they had no business losing to Houston, especially considering they were at home. That was a terrible loss, and let's continue that momentum on Wednesday. And one of the things they got to do on Wednesday, they have to do this. Play defense the way they played against Anthony Edwards tonight, against De'Aaron Fox. Even if you don't stop him, at least make it difficult for him. Make him play defense. This man doesn't play defense. Please let him work for his points. Don't just let him run around, do whatever the hell he wants. Yeah, AD has shown all year that he's playing through pain and he's going to gut it out. And it's a beautiful thing to see, even though we shouldn't be propping it up. That's what he's supposed to do. I don't like rewarding people for doing things they're supposed to do. I think we get caught up in that a little too much. AD is doing what he is supposed to do. That's what a $50 million a year player is supposed to do. That's what a future Hall of Famer, a top 75 pick, is supposed to do, especially in his prime. He is doing exactly what he is getting paid to do, and he's doing it very well. And we commend him because he is a Laker more than anything. I mean, you're talking 27, 25. Those are beyond elite. Those are shape-shifting franchise numbers. That's what makes you great. That's what makes you the number one when you have numbers like that. And what was his game? This was this game 62 out of 66. So he is right now 3 games away from qualifying for any award, which is good. I would like to see him play at least 75 games. I think I might have said that in the summer. I wanted to see at least 75 to 80 games. He's going to probably have to finish the season. Actually, he might have to play 78 games here, finish it off all the way through. Otherwise, losing a dumb game on this next road trip, if you don't have to, because you're sitting certain guys, that'd be a killer. Fox is a killer, especially in the fourth quarter. I take my chances with Monk, who's inconsistent. They did that in the last game, but Monk, unfortunately, was not inconsistent. He was actually doing his best Fox impression. And then when they both got into the game, they were playing off each other even better. But Sabonis down low was actually, that's something that I'm going to be looking at here with AD. AD has to figure that out this next one. He's way overdue for that. He does. He has to do what he did tonight. Maybe not numbers wise, but he has to do what he did tonight for 16 more games. And if he gets the Lakers to the 6th seed in doing that, then they're going to have to consider it. They're going to have to definitely consider it. Whether he gets it or not, I don't know. I don't know what it is about individual awards and the Lakers. It just doesn't seem like you got to pull teeth to get the media to get these guys MVPs and Defensive Player of the Years. The last Defensive Player of the Year that wore a Laker uniform was Michael Cooper in 1987. And I think the last individual award, major award, was I think it was Lamar Odom in 2011. He was 6th man of the year. Yeah, I agree, Xbox. I agree. I don't know how Shaq and Kobe only have one MVP. It is my brain can't like compute that. What's up, Juan? What's up, Joe? AD was great. Finally, I'm awake to hear you live, man. Hey, where are you at, Juan? Are you on the East Coast? Are you in another country? It's they decide every other year who should get something. In the end, I always say it's an individual award. Why does the team success have to do with anything? Oh, you're in Phoenix. It's nice to be able to go outside at 7 p.m. and see light. I think that's my favorite time of year. And that right there. What you said, Xbox with Torian Prince. It's those kind of plays that change everything. That needs to continue to happen. That's why they've been able to do what they've been doing. They're not. They're focused a little more. There's some focus on. They still get unfocused every now and then here and there, but it's slowly kind of closing more and more. They need to keep doing that. Close it to the point where once the playoffs start or the play-in, they're going to be locked and loaded. But the depth part has become an issue because Gabe Vincent is not there, because Vando's not there, because Cam Reddish is playing with an injury. There is those issues with skilled areas, whether it's on defense, whether it's on being a backup point guard, let's say, like Gabe Vincent. Those particular positions are extremely important to keep the starters fresh. Need depth, especially in the West. The West, it's very, very, very difficult to just rely on your starters and not have any depth. It just absolutely debilitates you. The Boston Celtics have had that issue even in the East when their guys aren't hitting shots. They don't have anybody off the bench that can usually hit shots to kind of get them over the hump. So all the pressure's on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, or at that time Marcus Smart. Now it's Porzingis. It does matter. You need depth. You need guys that can come off the bench that can give you 13, 15 points every now and then to kind of give you that boost to get over to that little hump that maybe your starters got you under. Another thing that scares me with Ham is if and when Gabe, Vandal, Wood, Cam are back, will Ham mess up rotations again? I don't know if he can handle having all those options. Well, we're going to find out here, traders. The Lakers need some help. It's not a matter of anything. Now, Torian Prince is playing enough minutes in my book right now to justify his particular rotation. I think Jackson Hayes has gotten better as the year's gone on. I think they're going to need to continue to use him in those pick and rolls to the basket. He has been phenomenal there. Keep that going. The player that I think is going to have to sit unless something drastically changes is Spencer Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie has not been good. He has been terrible, actually. So if you can get Vando or Gabe to come in here and at least give you some kind of offense or defensive consistency, then right away you don't have to worry about putting in Dinwiddie or using Max Christie in certain spots where you don't feel like he's going to be effective. Max Christie always looks like that guy that's you know what? I think he can turn the corner, and then he doesn't. And that's why we're kind of hard on him. We're hard on him because I think this is like the worst team he could be on to help his development. What Max Christie would have been better, or where he would have been better, is if he went to Orlando, if he went to Charlotte, where there's no pressure, where there might be some effectiveness that can or some winning going on in Orlando, but it's still not that pressure that he'd have in LA. I think that's probably what his agent's going to be telling him. So he's like, look, man, this Laker gig is not going to be for us. Let's try to go out there and see if we can find a team that'll give you 25 minutes, let's say at the very least, and you won't have to worry about the pressures of everything. You don't make a shot in LA and, they'll drown you, Where if you go to Orlando, or if you go to Minnesota even, or if you go to any, Indiana. They're not going to be on you as much. They're a little bit more lax there. Ham loves Smalls too much to bench Dinwiddie. Sean, that was the case up until recent. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think he's starting to take advantage of the players that he has in terms of the guys that are actually making shots and doing what they're supposed to do. And a lot of the guys that really sucked on defense at the beginning of the year have gotten a little bit better. Guys like Austin, guys like D'Angelo Russell, they have improved on defense. They went from really bad to, at the very least, in a lot of cases, average on defense, getting hands in between certain areas, passing lanes, getting steals, getting the 50-50 balls. They're doing it. They've improved there. So you have to give them a little bit of props there for taking it upon their own accord to do that, because who else would have? I mean, why wouldn't Darvin Ham do it at the beginning of the year, right? So this is probably them finally getting to a point in their head. They're like, look, man, we got to improve. We got to go into the gym and start working on our lateral movement. We got to do some bands if it means getting more strength, or just paying attention to the ball and how things are going. Watch more film. Get an idea of why and who and what and why they do bounce passes here. Will they do a bounce pass here? Will they do a chest pass? Will they lob it? Will they likely shoot first versus pass second? This is all the stuff that you see in films. This is all the stuff you see when you play, especially a West team, more than 4 or more than 3 times, 2 times, whatever it is. These all matter. Preparation, execution. Preparation, execution, and if you're talented, all those 3 together usually mean good things, and the Lakers right now are doing that. Christie has nice energy. Sometimes I think we can keep him around for a bit longer. I would say maybe. I would say maybe. I'm anticipating him finding some other place to go in the summer. I don't think the Lakers are going to sign him. That's my anticipation, unless they sign him and package him in some kind of trade. I think that's probably likely what's going to happen there. Ham's reduction of Prince's minutes lately gives us hope. Yes, it's very true. And where that helped was the fact that D'Angelo is shooting like a starter in the All-Star game. That's what he's been doing. Makes it a lot easier to sub guys in and out a certain way when the guys that are actually doing something make you keep them in there. And that's what D'Angelo's been doing. I think tonight, when I look at his stat line, at least from his minutes played, I think he had, 36 minutes? Let me go back to this real quick. He had 34 minutes. So you have minutes for your PG, you have 36 minutes for your shooting guard, which was Reeves, and then you had Dinwiddie play 17 minutes. Prince played 24. I think that's a pretty good allocation of minutes. Christie had 9. Yeah, that's about it. Now imagine taking, let's say, Dinwiddie's minutes and adding 3 more minutes and giving it to Gabe Vincent. And if Gabe Vincent can hit a couple of threes and play some good defense, now that bench player becomes a huge asset. And coming from Heat culture, even though this is likely, hopefully, the last Heat player will ever acquire, at least he knows team concept. He's about that. That's how he became who he became, because he was taught by the right guys, by Spoelstra, by Pat Riley, by the Heat culture. Team first, team second, team third, do everything you can to make the team good. And that's what we need from Gabe, and a couple shots, of course. Vanderbilt's going to take minutes away from a little bit from Taurean Prince, probably all of Christie's. This is something we're going to have to wait and see how that develops. If he is who he was before he got injured, that last week before he injured his foot, he's probably going to play 20 to 25 minutes, and he's going to be your defensive guy. So what you're going to want to do is, if the Lakers are playing someone who's let's say an Anthony Edwards, where you don't want to trap him or sag off your guy to go guard him and guard whatever lane he's in, then you could probably put Vanderbilt in one-on-one and let everybody else do their thing and spread the floor even more. I think that's going to be some options. He's going to definitely have some options. And him, I mean Darvin Ham. If those guys are healthy, that's huge. If you can get those 2 guys to be healthy, because I predicted that they'd be done by the year. Because I don't. These guys have missed so much time. How are they going to have the NBA win to play in the playoffs? Are they going to be physically able to deal with it? Can their lungs handle it? You know, you don't play basketball, NBA basketball, for a week and things are just thrown off. This is a very difficult league. Stamina is very difficult. Gary A. James steroid allegations heating up. Gary, we're talking about the Lakers and this positive run that they're in, and this is the crap you pull out of your butt? Really? This is what you got? What does the A stand for right now? I'm going to give you one guess. It ends with an E. You want to be that guy? Bueller? Anyone? See, even Sean knows. Yeah, 39 Gary. He's only going to get face on that. Yeah, that's a good question here. What would the league do if he turned up positive? Would they say anything? Does he get tested? I'll leave it at that. Assholey. Yeah, that's a good one there, Xbox. I think that's a good spelling. Where did Gary go? He went away now. What up with Woods and his knee and his return? I think his knee's jacked up. I don't know when he's going to return. There's no word right now out of Laker camp that he's coming back anytime soon. And I don't really know if I want to mess up the Jackson Hayes rotation. I don't know if that would help because there is a certain amount of play time that you need to say, especially playoff time. Playoff time, you only really need 7 guys. That's why Gabe and Vando become very, very important in this thing. If those 2 guys can do what they were supposed to do by being either acquired or picked up during free agency, now you have 5 starters that I feel very comfortable with the Lakers, and then you have 2 guys that do have a specific job to do. And then, of course, you'll have that one guy like a Jackson Hayes that can spell Anthony Davis for 10 to 15 minutes and give you a couple dunks and some good, some good basic defense when you need it. So ESPN has allegedly blocked and suppressed the allegations. Okay, that's good, Gary. I think I'm going to stop talking about that subject because it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything for us. Jordan's gambling allegations seem to vanish when he went off to play baseball. I think everything's overblown, guys. I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy. I don't believe in conspiracy theories usually because if you're not going to bring some proof with your BS, then what are we sitting on? Are you just sitting on hopes and dreams? Imagine us having Reed as a player. Nas makes a lot of money Sunday. He would have been the perfect backup. He would have been, the perfect backup for AD. Heck, they could have played AD and Nas in the same lineup, and that lineup would be really, really good. He's a good player. He is kind of streaky to some degree, but again, for what he is and what the Lakers would need, it would be absolutely perfect. I think he's making 12, 13 mil a year. Perfect for the quintessential backup or a guy that could spell AD a few games every now and then. I think that would be a good thing. Couldn't afford him, unfortunately. Reed would have been nice. Reed can ball. I prefer so many more young players. The Lakers really needed to get a good draft pick last year. I think that really killed them this year. Had they just gotten Whitmore or Triple J, imagine that guy. Imagine a minimum, essentially a minimum paid player for the next 3 to 4 years that's going to play that well right out of the gate. That's the problem. That's the thing that kind of set us back. They probably lost 5 games because of that decision. What still hurts us is the Lakers could have kept Brook Lopez for the vet minimum, but they didn't offer him a contract, and then he went to the Bucks for that. They screwed up the Lopez one. They screwed up the Zubac one. Both of those bigs they screwed up when they didn't have to. Lakers wanted Reed, but Wolves re-signed him before he even. Yeah, there was no shot. They didn't have enough money. I think he got 12-9, I think, first year, and then 13. So it was just over the MLE. If he had said I'd sign for the MLE, the Lakers would have likely given Nas Reed that money instead of Gabe Vincent. Sam, there's some truth there, but Christie, even today, Christie, I don't know. Christie's just not a good player, guys. He might be a good player, a serviceable player down the road, but he's just not good right now. I would rather roll with Dinwiddie. At least Dinwiddie can kind of create and dish a little bit. Caruso too. They would have kept him and lost him for an extra. Caruso, the Caruso loss was because of THT. They made a decision to invest in him. He was 7 years younger and had promise, and then ended up hitting the wall. And that's something that I even kind of contemplate. I said, well, they're going to go with THT. It's probably a decent decision at that point, but it ended up being a terrible, terrible decision. We didn't have the bird rights for Dennis. Otherwise, I think we would have signed him to the MLE instead of going after Gabe Vincent too. Soro, Brandon Knight, a bust. Yes, Brandon Knight as in probably, maybe, not what he should have been. Let's just put it this way. He's not what he should be. He's not what he should be. I don't know about a bust. The bust is always a very sensitive word. Do you consider Kwame Brown a bust? I do. But the guy played, 12, 13 years in the NBA? Is that considered a bust in the technical terms? Probably not. Dennis signed for more than the mid-level. He did? Let me look at that. He signed for more than 11? Let's see here. Where is he? Toronto. Where are we here? Toronto. Hold on. What am I doing here? He's with the Nets now. What the hell's wrong with me? Sorry, guys. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Brooklyn. I gotta love ads. Gotta click all the ads. Yeah, he got 12. Okay, but does he leave? I don't know. I guess he did. Never mind. He took more money to go to. But, Toronto taxes, wouldn't that have aren't they worse than California? I would have rather have just stayed in L.A., made a few bucks less, but maybe save up on the taxes. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to leave. I don't know. So Kwame is a bust to me, and the worst Laker player ever since, Westbrook is the worst now, but at the time I thought he was the worst. Compared to someone like Darko, Kwame was not a bust. Yeah, Darko was a massive bust, so much so that Joe Dumars cost the Pistons probably at least one more title during that run. I think he also got a starting job at issue with that. 12 could have matched that, surely. I don't think they had the bird rights, though. They had the bird rights. They could have signed them. But anyways, let's get back to Sacramento. So Sacramento, this is a manhood game. I'm going to call it the manhood game. And it starts with AD. Manhood needs to be challenged the next 2 days at AD. If I'm LeBron, I'm talking to Anthony Davis and I'm saying, homie, you need to show Sabonis that you are the star. You are the top 75 player of all time. You're in your prime, and you ain't going to be stopped. And he needs to beast it like he did tonight. Absolutely beast it. He does that, then I think everything falls in place. And it would be nice to punk those guys in Sacramento and return the favor like they punked us in LA a few days ago. think that's going to be huge. I think it's going to be a very important part of what will likely happen the rest of the way. You go into Sacramento and you smack those guys around, you're going to have 4 games coming back against relatively good teams, teams that you're going to be favored against in all 4 games: Golden State, Atlanta, the Sixers, Indiana. You're going to be favored in every one of those games, and you need to take advantage of it. You need to finish this next 5 games with wins so that when you get on the road, pressure won't be too tight. Matter of fact, you might be sitting at the 7th seed by the time you get on that road trip. And if you can get lucky and the Suns or Sacramento lose a couple games while you win a couple games that we thought you might lose during that road trip, then we could start maybe thinking about a 7 or 6 seed and making sure you go into the playoffs ready and locked and ready to go. Sacramento plays Milwaukee on Tuesday, so we will get them on a back-to-back night. That's a good point, Sam. I actually did not know that. I hadn't delved into the Sacramento schedule. That would be really, really, really good if we can get them tired. The Lakers have 2 days off, which usually when there's a 2-day gap and LeBron plays, it seems like that speed goes to a completely different level. Tonight, he didn't have any speed. He was able to get to the basket. That's because they were able to spread that sucker out because they were worried about D'Angelo going off. And we need more of that. We need to continue that. I'm dreaming of 6. I'm dreaming of 6 too. It would be really nice, especially considering they would play someone they could probably beat in the first round at the 6. That's the exciting part, especially if it's the Clippers. If it's the Clippers, it'll be more challenging in my book than, let's say, Oklahoma City in a lot of ways, because there is that rivalry, the city rivalry. But the fact that they'd be home, I think, would be a huge advantage. Phoenix sack slipping. Don't know how the hell Nola's still doing this well. Look, man, they got young talent. Young talent can go a long way. And Zion Williamson, even with all his negativity, the guy can ball. If that guy could just drop 40 pounds and really dedicate himself to the sport, he could be so much big. That team could be dangerous. It could really, really be dangerous. But that's something he'd have to make a decision on. I don't know. He likes food too much. Gumbo and I don't know what. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just worried about Wednesday's game. Making sure that they kind of set a precedent here the rest of the way. I think that'd be a good game to do that. Next to Denver, Sac has been the hardest team for us to beat. AD usually gets outplayed by Sabonis. He gets outplayed by almost any elite big, whether it's Embiid lately, whether it's Jokic, whether it's Sabonis. That's why it's important that this time he gets out of that funk. It's time. It's time for him to get out of that funk. And if he can get out of that funk for the remaining 16 games, he could challenge the early favorite right now, which is Rudy Gobert for Defensive Player of the Year. Zion is a real shame. What's gumbo? Gumbo's a Southern food, Xbox. It's a particular dish, rice with sausage, stuff like that, seasoning, spicy stuff. It's a New Orleans staple, New Orleans, Louisiana. Wizards beat the Heat, man. I hate the Heat. I don't really hate the Heat. I do get it's kind of corny with this whole Heat culture. Yeah, everybody has these funny taglines about who they are. Oh, we're a clique and we're a culture and we're this and we're that. I'm like, just take it easy, man. Take it easy. It's not that important. What happened in the rest of the day? So the Milwaukee beat the Clippers today. Pelicans beat the Hawks. Wizards beat the Heat tonight. Pacers beat Magic. A lot of road wins tonight. A lot of road wins. Thunder smacked around Memphis. My prediction for Memphis not making the playoffs was correct. I did predict that at the beginning of the year. Everyone thought I was nuts. Jambalaya. Jambalaya is good, but I like jambalaya with pasta instead of rice. It does come in both. Houston beat Sacramento. Yeah, that was a surprise, but not really. Sacramento has that. Sacramento does have that focus issue too. It's not just the Lakers sometimes, but it will be nice to see if they can maybe lose on Tuesday and then the Lakers get them on the back end there with 2 days off and smack them again. That would be 3 losses in a row, you start seeing the Lakers climbing up to that 8 and 7 seed right away. They could do it this week if they can make it work. Jambalaya, Jambaruski. That was from, I think Rob Schneider was doing some kind of movie where he was an announcer, and he says, Jambalaya, Jambaruski. Oh, it was Necessary Roughness. It's an old 90s movie. Did you say your thought on Wilson, Soro? Yeah, I did a little bit at the beginning Sunday. I said it's better than Mitch Trubisky. Let's just put it that way. And he's getting paid the minimum, while Denver will pay him $38 million for the year. And there's much worse backups than him. I think it's a good move. It's a transitionary period. I do still think the Steelers have to get lucky like the Niners did with Brock Purdy, where they draft a quarterback that is better than his draft position. That could be a franchise quarterback. I just don't know if it'll be this year, next year. I don't know. It's going to be tough. But with that, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. If you guys have any comments, any questions, please email us at LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. The Lakers won tonight, 120-109 against Timberwolves. This is 2 wins in a row against teams that I had a good feeling that they would be pretty competitive against, and it was nice to see them win. We're going to be going to Sacramento on Wednesday. I'm sure we're going to have some shows tomorrow as well as on Tuesday, so you guys don't get bored. But until then, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Stay safe, stay good, have a good night's sleep, and until next time, I'll see you next time.